Welcome back to the Future Audio Fiction Anthology created by Broken Arts Entertainment, who has been breaking art since 2015. It's time for show number 10 out of 15. This is Organic. Organic is written by playwright and performer Jenna Jane of Florida, produced by Swenson, who's lived everywhere, including North Carolina, directed by Dzubak of Michigan, starring Kim Gordon and Ian Ashland, both from Maine.
All right, Mrs. Goldman, your blood work shows... I'm so sorry. I don't mean to...
Stare.
I'm sorry. The nurse warned me, but it's just...
I'm used to it.
It's just I've never seen someone who's... Well, I just didn't know that there were people like you out there anymore. At least, not in a first world country. People who are...
100% organic. Am I really the only person you've ever met without upgrades?
Mm-hmm.
Well, to be fair, I've never met anyone else who's unenhanced either.
I really must apologize for my reaction, Mrs. Goldman. This is terribly unprofessional.
Happens all the time. Can we just talk about my blood work, please?
Of course. Your blood work shows you're in late-stage kidney failure, which explains the swelling in your ankles, but it's a simple fix. No big deal. We can swap out your kidney for a bionic one manufactured by LifeCorp this afternoon. We'll put you on some immunosuppressants so your body won't reject it. Your insurance will cover it all 100%.
What are my other options?
Excuse me?
I don't want a bionic kidney, so what are my other options?
This has been the top treatment for kidney failure for decades. Maybe longer. Nothing even comes close to the success rate of a bionic kidney.
What about an organic kidney transplant?
Are you kidding?
Do I look like I'm kidding?
Natural death rates are at historic lows, Mrs. Goldman. You'd have to wait for an accident, a homicide, a suicide. You could be on the organic transplant waitlist for 30 years or more. You don't have 30 years. With that kidney, you've got 1 year, if you're lucky. Your chart says you're 81. Kidney failure is not unusual in someone your age, especially someone who hasn't had any other internal enhancements. Wow. 81 years old and fully organic. Don't your joints hurt? Your back?
What about medication?
Big Pharma stopped making medication to treat kidney dysfunction decades ago. Why would anyone want to coddle a bad kidney with meds when they can just swap it out for a bionic one? Even if you need firmware updates every now and then, you can download them all through an app. Let's see. Oh, right, you don't have a tactile interface, do you? Mrs. Goldman, help me to understand your hesitation here. Please.
I guess I just feel like if I start swapping out all my real parts for artificial ones, at some point, I stop being me. Okay, now that is unprofessional.
I'm so sorry. It's so backward. It's just a kidney.
Oh, it's just a kidney for now. But next, it's night vision eyes, Swiss Army knife fingers, brow transplants, silicon discs in your spine.
And what's wrong with any of that?
3D printed vocal cords, artificial skin grafting.
Well, technically my skin was 60% organically farmed.
My point is, a bionic kidney is a gateway organ. Who knows what I'm willing to compromise on next?
Is it really a compromise to improve your quality of life?
But how far can you go before you stop being you? if you eventually replace all your original parts, even if it's one at a time, are you still the same person?
Listen, aside from 85% of my brain, I'm fully enhanced. And I've never felt more like myself.
What do you mean?
My whole body is bespoke. It's designer, it's custom, and that means what's on the outside now reflects what's going on in here. Look, I was assigned female at birth, but it didn't feel like it fit right. So, after 50 years or so, I got masculine enhancements. It was new, it was different, it was exciting, but it didn't exactly fit right either. There were things I loved about masculinity and things I missed about femininity. So, after another 10 years, I got my body tailored to the specs in my brain. Now, I look and feel exactly like the person I am in my mind. A perfect fit.
I never thought of it like that. I'm happy for you.
You're happy for me?
I'm happy you feel like yourself. Everyone deserves to be authentic.
Not to mention, with my titanium-lined bones and silicon joints, my body is strong enough for anything. Climb a mountain? Sure. Rearrange the living room furniture one-handed? No problem. The fat redistribution valve in my navel means I can adjust my physique to whatever body type is fashionable this season. And with my solar panel fingernails, I never have to sleep. What part of that sounds bad to you?
I think I would miss sleep. You don't miss dreaming?
Colossal waste of time. Sleep is for lazy people.
Rest is important.
Why?
It just is.
When your body has nothing to heal, nothing to restore, why lose productivity? Maximizing your time is what matters, Mrs. Goldman.
It's Ms.
I'm sorry?
You keep calling me Mrs. Goldman. It's Ms.
My apologies. I could have sworn your chart said...
It's fine.
It's just a kidney, Ms. Goldman. You'll still be you.
Will I?
Well, I suppose it depends on how you look at it. What makes you you? Is it your spleen? Your esophagus?
My mind, I suppose. My consciousness.
So, is the body simply a protective housing for the brain then? Or is the brain's primary function to keep the body alive?
I don't understand.
Let's say someone removed your brain from your 100% organic body and swapped it out with someone else's brain. Are you still you?
Definitely not.
But you'd still have all the same parts, except one.
But my mind wouldn't be captain of the ship anymore.
Ah, but if someone transplanted your brain into an entirely different body, are you still you?
I don't know.
But you'd be, what was it you said? Oh, captain of the ship?
But it's not my ship anymore.
Wouldn't it become your ship if your mind was behind the wheel?
But don't you think there comes a point where we aren't even human anymore? With all the tinkering and inauthenticity, at what point do we become a different species entirely?
Maybe being human is overrated. Why limit yourself? Why not transcend? Post-human? Beyond human? Superhuman?
You really don't remember me, do you?
I'm sorry?
I know I look different after nearly 50 years, but I suppose I hoped you would recognize me. I was sure you'd at least recognize my name.
You'll have to forgive me, Miss Goldman. I have a memory gap.
A memory gap. What do you mean?
I mentioned before that 85% of my brain is organic. That's because my doctor started noticing the first signs of early onset dementia around age 45. I didn't want to wait for it to progress, so I had the portion of my brain that was the source of the problem swapped out for upgraded hardware. Unfortunately, it meant sacrificing some memories to make room. The first 40 years of my life are something of a blur, but everything after that is crisp and flawless. I know it might seem counterintuitive, giving up memories to save your mind. I just decided that the future was more important than the past. So, we knew each other? Were we friends? Coworkers? I admit there are some family members I still pretend I don't recognize, but...
We were married.
I was married?
You were my wife.
How did... What happened?
You really don't remember?
I know I wasn't married when I had my brain upgraded. I remember everything starting right around the 40-year mark.
We separated in our mid-30s. You had already been getting enhancements for years. You always said you thought I'd get over my idea of staying fully organic when I started to age, but I didn't want to change who I was. You called me stubborn, antiquated, and you didn't want to waste any more time with me.
So you're saying I left you because I was shallow?
No, that would have made it easier. It wasn't that simple. Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm sure you would have loved for me to get exterior enhancements. You were always much more of a visual person than I was. But that wasn't really the issue. Sometimes you can love someone deeply, but choose not to stay.
Help me understand.
You said you couldn't handle watching me break down. You didn't want to watch me die.
I don't remember, but it sounds like something I would say. Sounds like me. Am I still me? After all these years and all these modifications? Am I still in here?
Yes. Yes, you're still you. I can see you in there. You're more you than you've ever been.
Wait, why did you come here?
What do you mean?
Why did you come here? It sounds like I told you a long time ago I didn't want to watch you die, which you are still clearly hell-bent on doing. So why did you come here? To make me watch?
No! That's not...
I didn't know about any of this 10 minutes ago. I wasn't hurting. Now I am. Did you come here to hurt me?
I didn't mean to.
You had no reason to think I wouldn't recognize you. You came here to show me the thing that I was so desperately trying to avoid. Apparently so desperate I was willing to walk away from the person I loved. And you came here to... what? To rub it in my face? To take that choice away from me? It's selfish. It's worse than selfish. It's cruel.
Please, I just wanted to...
You wanted to what?
I had to see you one last time. I had to see if you made the right decision, or if I made the right decision.
Well,
Yes,
Yes, what? Who was right?
both. We both made the right decision. The decision that was right for each of us.
You're not going to get the bionic kidney, are you?
No,
Even though you'll die without it.
even though I'll die without it.
Even though you recognize that I'm still me?
We both are who we are. And we're both willing to pay a different price for it.
You know, being yourself and refusing to adapt are not the same thing. Change is not the enemy of authenticity, Miss Goldman. This is the next leap forward in human evolution. You can be stubborn and refuse to get on the ride if you want, but your life is going to be lonely. What's left of it.
There are worse things than being alone.
You've just listened to Organic by Jenna Jane, directed by Dzubak, featuring Kim Gordon and Ian Ashland. Up next is a show from a familiar to Broken Arts writer. Don't want your future to melt.